Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 17 Monday Night Football predictions between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, moving on to the San Francisco 49ers injury report, we got offensive lineman Aaron Banks with a knee injury, defensive lineman Robert Beal Jr. with an ankle injury, offensive lineman Spencer Burford with a calf injury, and linebacker Dre Greenlaw with a calf injury, all out for this game. Then moving on to safety Jair Brown with an ankle injury, offensive lineman Colton McKivitz with a knee injury, and linebacker Tatum Bethune with a knee injury, all questionable for the game. Now moving on to defensive lineman Leonard Floyd with a shoulder injury, running back Isaac Guerendo with a foot and hamstring injury, defensive lineman Nick Bosa with a hip and oblique injury, defensive lineman Jordan Elliott with a knee injury, safety Talanoa Hufanga with a wrist injury, linebacker Dee Winters with a chest injury, and fullback Kyle Juszczyk with an illness. Now, when it comes down to it, honestly, I'm thinking the defense is going to suffer a little bit more than the offense when it comes to the 49ers. Obviously, losing Banks and Burford are big losses, and potentially McKivitz as well. But I do, in fact, believe that maybe one or two of their replacements will, in fact, do a good job. So I'm not really that worried about that. Although Greenlaw and Beal, those are two big losses on that defensive line and pass rush. Also, you got potential with Brown as a safety, the free safety position. He might be out for this game, and so goes for Tatum as well. Like, this team defensively is injured. To honestly, yes, they have also lost guys like Christian McCaffrey and all that stuff. Like, yeah, they've lost those guys. But I still believe that the 49er defense is, honestly, their injuries are far worse than the offensive ones. And that's why I think they'll suffer even more than the offense. Now, moving on to the offense of the San Francisco 49ers, we got quarterback Brock Purdy, running back Isaac Guerendo, fullback Kyle Juszczyk, wide receivers Deebo Samuels, Juwan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall. Tight end George Kittle. Left tackle Austin Pleasant coming in for an injured, I believe it's either Aaron Banks or Burford. I think Burford. Then we move on to left guard Nick Zavelik. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he's probably coming in for an injured Aaron Banks or Burford, like I said before. Then you get Jake Brindell at center, Dominic Puny at right guard, and you also get Colton McKivitz at right tackle. But if he cannot go, Charlie Heck will take over. Now, when it comes to this offensive line, it's going to have a tough time on the left side specifically. Two new guys on that offensive line. It's going to be iffy, and possibly losing the right tackle as well. That's going to be a little tough for the offensive line. But they got some good receivers in Samuels, Jennings, and Pearsall. They got a good running back in Isaac Guerendo as well. Fullback Kyle Juszczyk can actually do a lot of things other than just block. Then you get tight end George Kittle and Brock Purdy. This offense, honestly, without their offensive line, they're going to have issues. But it's not going to be that bad. So I think that even if this team is going to have an issue with the offensive line, I still think their offense will deal a very good blow to the Detroit Lions, at least when it comes to their skill players and quarterback. Now, moving on to the defense of the San Francisco 49ers, we start out with defensive ends Leonard Floyd and Nick Bosa. Then moving on to defensive tackles Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott. Then moving on to weak side linebacker Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, inside linebacker Fred Warner, and strong side linebacker Dee Winters. Then we get cornerbacks Renardo Green and Isaac Yiadom with nickelback DeMondre Lenore. Then free safety Jair Brown, but if he cannot go, Tayshaun Gibson will take over. Then at strong safety, we got Talanoa Hufanga. Now this defense has had issues, specifically with injury, specifically with guys like Nick Bosa and Hufanga. But I think that they're going to have a decent time against the Detroit Lions offense. It's still going to be a tough game. The Detroit Lions have a very good offense and defense for that matter. Honestly, the pass rush is going to come into the game. Leonard Floyd and Nick Bosa have to get to the quarterback, Jared Goff, all day long. The two defensive tackles have got to keep the inside zone runs from happening. The weak side linebackers, those inside linebackers, you got to cover the hook zones, send the corners into the flats, and drop the safeties back. Maybe even drop one corner back as well in cover 3. It all really depends on what you need to do. But for right now, honestly, I think the best case scenario is they are successful in the pass rush and they sack Jared Goff or pressure him into making mistakes all day long. Now, moving on to the Lions injury report, we got running back David Montgomery with a knee injury and wide receiver Khalif Raymond with a foot injury, both out for the game. Then moving on to linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maybin with a neck injury. He is questionable for the game. Then moving on to cornerback Terrion Arnold with an illness and offensive lineman Graham Glasgow with a knee injury. Now, when it comes down to it, they're not really that injured in this game. They've obviously lost Montgomery and Raymond. They've also lost a buttload of players throughout the year, so that's going to honestly hinder them a little bit. Honestly, I'm still thinking that they're going to make this game, honestly, one of the best games for the Lions this year. To be fair, I think that Montgomery's replacement, Jahmyr Gibbs, will do a decent job. Honestly, Khalif Raymond, most likely just the same thing as Tim Patrick, so I'm not seeing that much of a difference. But even though that is the case, I'm still seeing the offense as, honestly, the worst off when it comes to injuries. And yes, even though they still don't have Aiden Hutchinson and probably won't have him for the rest of the year, honestly, they have some good pass rushers in there. Not as good as him, but honestly, they can still do the job. Now, moving on to the offense of the Detroit Lions, we got quarterback Jared Goff, running back Jahmyr Gibbs, wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Tim Patrick. Tight end Sam Laporta. Left tackle, Taylor Decker. Left guard, Graham Glasgow. Center, Frank Ragnow. Right guard, Kevin Zeitler. And right tackle, Penei Sewell. Now, when it comes to this offensive line, I'm pretty sure they'll do their job to protect Jared Goff. But honestly, they're going up against Nick Bosa and Leonard Floyd, so I can't really guarantee that. But then we get Jahmyr Gibbs. Honestly, he's going to get over 50 yards in this game. Not over 100, but getting close to that. Then, obviously, in the pass game, you get Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Honestly, two big targets, and Sam Laporta as well. Honestly, I'm thinking Jared Goff might reach over 200 yards in this game. Maybe getting close to 300. It all really depends on how good the receiving core of the Detroit Lions does. And honestly, I think they'll do a very decent job against that San Francisco secondary. Now, moving on to the defense of the Detroit Lions, we got defensive ends Zadarius Smith and Josh Pascal, defensive tackle Levi Onwuzurike and DJ Reader, weak side linebacker Trevor Nowakowski, and then inside linebacker Jack Campbell and Ezekiel Turner at strong side linebacker. Cornerbacks Amik Robertson and Terrion Arnold. Nickelback will be Brian Branch. Kirby Joseph will be the free safety. And Ifatu Melifonwu will be the strong safety. Now, when it comes to this defense of the Detroit Lions, I'm honestly thinking that they're going to do a decent job against the 49ers. Honestly, that left side of the field, put pressure on him. So you got to put guys on that blind side like Zadarius Smith and just get Ezekiel Turner off the edge there. Keep pressuring that side. Make sure you pressure the quarterback Brock Purdy. And honestly, I think that the Detroit Lions, just like they've been doing throughout the entire season, I think they might actually win another game and get one step closer to winning not only the NFC North, but the number 1 seed in the NFC. Now, in conclusion, I have this game going in favor of the Detroit Lions, 27-16. I honestly think the Detroit Lions will win this. Honestly, it is a trap game, so there is a chance that the 49ers come up and win this game. But due to them not fighting for anything and the Lions fighting for everything in the NFC, the top seed, the division, all that, they're going to be putting it all out there on the field today. And I honestly think that the Detroit Lions will definitely smoke San Francisco 49ers, but with a bit of issues at the beginning of the game. Now that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think will win tonight? The Lions or the 49ers? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.